Good evening, Shawnees. Welcome to week 9 of our SAT vocabulary study. This week, all of our words will be verbs. Our first word this week is apprise. And apprise means to give notice to someone, to inform them, or to advise them of something. Essentially, you're telling someone something. For example, I will next week apprise you of the fact that we have a vocabulary quiz on weeks 9 and 10. So I'll be giving you notice of that fact. This week I'm going to be using all of the vocabulary words with an ing, starting off the sentence. And next week we'll be doing some sentence practice with this particular structure. Apprising Congress and the nation of our country's goals for the coming year in his 2013 State of the Union address, President Obama emphasized the creation of jobs. So in this case, he was giving notice or informing the nation about the goals. Our second word is circumvent, and circumvent simply means to go around or bypass, to avoid something. Let's say, for example, there's a person in the hallway at Turkeyfoot that you might not necessarily get along with. Maybe it's an ex-boyfriend or a girlfriend. And so in order to avoid them, you go all the way around the other hallway so that you don't have to encounter them. That would be circumventing the situation. Of course, one of our favorite things to circumvent is traffic. Circumventing traffic jams on the Brent Spence Bridge to Cincinnati often requires getting off the highway before the bridge and weaving through the streets of Covington. And I imagine that you've been with an adult more than once where they have tried to circumvent that traffic that goes across the bridge on I-75. Go around, bypass, avoid, circumvent. Our third word is emulate. And when you emulate someone, you strive to be not only equal to them, but you might want to even try to excel beyond their capabilities. Often you will simply imitate them. Let's say, for example, you have an idol, you're a basketball player, and you idolize LeBron James. You may emulate his moves as best possible. To be like him or similar to him. Emulate. And here is a little girl emulating her dad, pushing the baby in the stroller. Little Lily carefully pushes her baby doll in a toy stroller. So she is doing what he is doing, imitating him. Our next word is rankle. And when you rankle someone, you cause anger within them or irritation within them. You can be rankled and therefore be angered or irritated by someone. I don't know why it is, but when I think of the word rankle, I think of Mr. Murray. Okay, and so here's an example of rankle. Rankling Coach Marvin Lewis seemed to be a regular event for former Bengal Chad Ochocinco. He simply didn't know when to shut his mouth, and it often annoyed Coach Lewis. Of course, Chad Ochocinco is no longer with the Bengals, so no longer rankling Coach Lewis and other people in the organization. Finally, our last word this week is surmount. And surmount means to conquer or overcome or prevail over something or someone. And I'm having trouble. Okay, that's better. So anyway, surmount, to conquer, overcome, or prevail. Perhaps you're on one of the Turkeyfoot teams and you overcame a deficit in a game and prevailed over your opponent. You surmounted them. In this case, surmounting tremendous obstacles while growing up, neurosurgeon Ben Carson eventually achieved his dream of becoming a doctor. So there you have it. We have 5 verbs this week, and next week we will have 5 additional words for week 10 and then a vocabulary quiz at the end of the week. There is no homework associated with this week's words. Just document them on your note-taking sheet on page 81 of your ILJ, and we'll do some work with them in the classroom this week and next. Thank you, and have a good evening.